Hey, what's going on, Longhorn Nation? BJ with Bad Talks. Whew, what a game last night, man. I usually try to get on and do a reaction right after the game, but I was exhausted yesterday, and I didn't even have 15 minutes left in me. I finally killed my Kentucky buck, so I had a long day yesterday trying to get ready before the game, getting taken, processed, and caked out and all that kind of stuff. So, hey, it is what it is, and so I didn't have time to do it last night, a reaction last night, but which is fine. I got to sleep on the game a little bit and reminisce a little bit about how great it was last night to watch number 15 Texas beat number 16 Iowa State 24-10 at home on senior night. And what an unbelievable atmosphere that Chris Del Conte and his staff has done for the University of Texas. That Bevo Boulevard before the game, all-day party pretty much. And then how the Texas players walked through that live, huge crowd outside there on Bevo Boulevard. And then, of course, Bevo comes through there. And then listening to seeing some guys on Twitter and all that stuff yesterday, like fans came in early. And Texas fans usually don't get in there early. Usually they get in there right around kickoff. But it sounded like those fans and students got in there early. And Coach Herman said in his press conference last night, the first thing he said, he gave a shout out to the fans and gave a shout out to the student section and thanked them for their support. And what an unbelievable atmosphere it was to see it on Longhorn Network and see that. I really wish the country could have seen that. But Longhorn Network's going to get their 1 or 2 games a year, which I'm not a fan of because those announcers, Local End on those guys, and Ahmed Brooks is just not very good to me. They're kind of boring. But it is what it is. I care what channel we're on. We needed to win, and it sounded like that the whoever is running the replay Jumbotron put the Oklahoma State game up when they beat to finish the game against the West Virginia Mountain Aggies. And when Oklahoma State won, the crowd erupted. The players saw it, and Coach Herman said in his press conference last night that he needs to talk to that guy because he didn't care for that a whole lot. He had to round his guys back in, which, coming from a coach standpoint, I completely understand where Coach Herman's at. But coming from a fan, man, that's what you want to see. That's what the players wanted to see. They know now that all they had to do was go win a football game. So, yeah, all Texas has got to do is win the next 2 football games, and they did last night. They beat Iowa State. Now they go to Kansas next week, and they win that football game, and they're in the Big 12 championship in year 2 under Coach Herman. But yeah, man, it was pretty cool to see. Whenever I saw Oklahoma State beat West Virginia, which I thought was great, when West Virginia beat Texas by 1 at home, you would have thought that they blew them out by 50 the way the Mountain Aggie fans were acting. And then, of course, I was getting some rude gestures from some of them about how do you lose in Stillwater, you are trash, all that kind of stuff. Now you know how you lose in Stillwater, all right? It's not an easy place to play at night. I don't care who you are. It's not an easy place to play. So now you understand, Mountain Aggie, why Texas lost at Oklahoma State. If you don't come with your A game, you're going to lose. Mike Gundy's gets his team ready to play regardless of how good they are. So hats off to you, Oklahoma State, that put Texas right back in it. But the D put the D in dominant last night. Those guys showed up from the start. When we kicked off again, I talk about this every week, but I should have texted my brother. And it's like, man, we're kicking off again. We never get the ball first. And defense didn't do a 3-and-out, but held them to a punt. And then we drove down and got 7. That set the tone for the football game. Sel Mellinger was special once again. That kid, man, I love me some Sam Mellinger, man. That kid is going to be the truth, or already the truth, but will be very, very good the next 2 years, considering he stays for his senior year. And then, I hear a lot of talk about, well, he's got great wide receivers, and I agree. I mean, the kid's got, Lil Jordan Humphrey, Colin Johnson, Devin Duvernay, Gerard Hurd, Brennan Eagles, John Burt. He got some studs out there at wide receiver. Running backs catch out of the backfield, Keontae Ingram and Trey Watson. So, yes, he has help, obviously, but most good quarterbacks have help. Kyler Murray's a great quarterback in Oklahoma. We know this. But he also has some dynamic wide receivers out there. Purdy's good at Iowa State. He's got Butler. He's got those big guys. all these guys that are good, and Will Grier is a good quarterback. He's got skills. I mean, he's got some ballers out there too. So every great quarterback or good quarterback's got good receivers. So that argument's a moot point to me. Sam's playing good football. He hasn't turned the football over since week 1. Now, he did go out last night, the last play of the first half. He tried to get the first down like Sam does. He ducked his head on dude, and the linebacker won this battle. Actually made him fumble, but he fell on the ball and recovered his own fumble. But I guess he re-injured that shoulder. But as Coach Herman said going in at half in his interview that Sam's been banged up on that shoulder since it happened. He's been playing with it sore since it happened, so it's nothing new. I personally think Coach Herman kept Sam out the second half because we kind of knew that the ball game was going in our way. If he needed him, kind of like Brandon Jones back at safety, if we needed him, he would have put him back in the football game. Sam, up to that point, was phenomenal in my eyes. I mean, he did excellent. Running the ball, throwing the ball, being smart. He took a couple sacks, and he wanted to throw it one time away, and he tucked it. Last year, he would have threw it and probably get a pick or something, you know. So, took the sack, live for the next play. But Texas could have put him away super early. That was one frustrating thing I found about Texas. We haven't gotten to where we just put people away. We had Texas Tech put away last week, and then bam, here they come right back. When you got a chance to be up 24-3 at half against a good Iowa State football team, you got to do it. I mean, so last year we didn't know how to win. This year we've learned how to win the close games, and we're doing that. Texas is doing that. So next year, maybe Texas can pull away from teams and start putting it on them and putting them away early. But that's a moot point. That's just all talk there. I'm kind of bouncing around here, which, you know, is fine, whatever. We're just talking Texas football. But I'd be remiss if I didn't touch on the Texas linebackers last night. Those guys finally balled out. I've been waiting for the linebackers to do well. Gary Johnson was all over the place. Anthony Wheeler was all over the place, making good tackles. D-line played well. But I was really satisfied with our linebackers. They just seem like the last 3 or 4 weeks or since Oklahoma, they've been out of place all the time. But last night they did well. Chris Brown stepped up for safety for Brandon Jones being out. Got him an interception. Almost had 2 interceptions. Played well. Caden Stearns tackled well. The team tackled much better yesterday. And I think Todd Orlando had put an emphasis on tackling this week in practice because they went full pads on Tuesday, and I think this time of year not a whole lot of teams do full pads in practice anymore, but they did on Tuesday. It was full pads, all out, bring to ground tackle, which, you know, I don't know how much one practice helps, but I think it's more of a mentality than anything. So, yeah, the defense showed up last night. I was super excited to see the defense play like that because that's the way they started off the season. They were dominant like that, you know. They held Iowa State to 3 points. Yeah, they scored a touchdown late. It's because we punted, and they ran the ball back and then got a face mask by the kicker. So they got the ball on like the 7-yard line or something like that. So then they scored on second or third down. So the defense really went the whole game without giving a touchdown to the late in the game. And Iowa State's been dropping points on people all year long. Their running back was out the first half because he got in a fight with Baylor last week. Not Texas' fault. Can't help you can't control your anger, young man. So we're not going to apologize for you not being there. That's your fault. You did come in and made a couple good runs, but Texas pretty much shut that down, which was good. Moving over to the offense, man, I salute you, Shane Buechele. I'm not a big Shane Buechele fan. No, let me say that. I am a Shane Buechele fan. I'm not very confident in Shane when he gets in there because he just there's some things he can't do that Sam can do, i.e. run the football. But he takes care of the ball. He's smart with the football. He probably throws a better deep ball than Sam does. He's a little more accurate than Sam is throwing the ball. I just don't know if he has that it factor Sam has, but he went 10 for 10 last night and a touchdown. That touchdown to Lil Jordan, all he really did was put it on his back shoulder in a stop route. Dude caught it and made a little small DB miss him, and Lil Jordan went to the end zone. Great play by wide receiver, obviously, but Buechele had to get it to him. He placed the ball in a perfect spot for a touchdown, and that kind of sealed it. Made it 24-3. He done it against Baylor. Coach Herman said in the press conference that He doesn't get a whole lot of reps, physical reps in practice. He does a lot of mental reps in practice. So to step out on the field like that, have 0 incompletions, go 10 for 10, ran the ball a few times, 3 or 4 times, controlled the offense, got a touchdown in the second half to seal the game, if you will, to make it 24-3, kind of out of reach. Man, hats off, Shane. He's the epitome of a great backup quarterback at this point. Now, he probably won't be around next year. He'll probably transfer somewhere. But, who knows? He may not. He may stay. I really, if he stays, that's great. If he don't, then that's great too. But, senior night last night. So let's talk about the senior class a little bit. I didn't write that down anywhere, but it just popped in my head. Charlie Strong brought these seniors in. He recruited these guys. And I remember when they came in, Malik Jefferson, all them guys came in this class, and I felt like that would be the class to get this program turned around. In the last few years, just hasn't. But this year, the seniors stepped up. They're captains. Bregan Hager, he's a complete weirdo, but the dude plays hard all the time, and he loves this university. Chris Boyd, not a big fan of how he acts. He makes a pass breakup, and he acts like he just won the national championship. Just chill out and play football, man. But the mentality these guys brought in here changed this football program around and carried this team this year. So next year, Texas may not be as good football team because we're losing a lot, 7 guys or something like that on defense. But yeah, hats off to the senior class. But to me, the one that sticks out in my mind in this senior class is probably Gerard Hurd, ultimate teammate. This kid came in, and I brought this up in prior videos. This kid came in, a highly touted quarterback out of Denton Guyer. We watched him win state championship down there in Denton because I go to those state games every year, and I'll be back again in 3 weeks, 4 weeks, whatever it is. But yeah, he came in, he's a quarterback and wide receiver and didn't play a whole lot, and now he's playing more, and the kid is an absolute Texas Longhorn. And I love that Gerard Hurd chose Texas. I know he don't watch his videos, but if I could thank him personally, I would, because he's been great to watch over the last 4 years. A phenomenal athlete, a great student, and a great kid for this university, man. For that university, it's cool to see. I know Coach Herman's proud of him. And then let's wrap this up a little bit. And I would like to touch on Coach Herman. There's been some stuff in the news here lately with that idiot Smith, or Coach Smith or whatever from Ohio State, that's making all these accusations about Coach Herman and all that. Look, dude, not to say it's right or wrong or he don't know anything. I don't know the situation. Obviously, I'm just a fan on the outside. It's pretty petty what this dude is doing. It was funny how Coach Herman sent him back, okay, cool, hook 'em. And Michelle, I think that's her name, Michelle Herman, last night wore the shirt that said, okay, cool, hook 'em on it. Obviously, she's standing by her man regardless of what he's saying. But Coach Herman hasn't let it affect his work. The dude came in his press conference and said, I'm coming here, my staff is coming here to win championships at Texas. Start off with the Big 12 championship and then try to get into the national picture. Year 2, he was in the national picture, had his rank number 6 in the country, slipped up a couple, which we all thought number 6 was a little high for Texas. I thought between 12 and 15, 16, whatever, is probably about where Texas is this year. Let's just be real. Now you're 1 win away from the Big 12 championship in year 2 with the team that we had. All right, it wasn't like Lincoln Riley just fell right into a stud-started Oklahoma team. Not taking anything from Lincoln Riley. He's a great football coach, don't get me wrong. I like Lincoln Riley as a football coach. But Herman didn't get to inherit that. So I really think, and those of you, a lot of Mountain Aggies are on my YouTube channel talking all that crap about Tom Herman. Some SEC guys are saying stuff about Tom Herman. Of course, Aggies are saying stuff about Tom Herman. But I'm here to tell you, the dude has brought a different culture to this program. The dude has got these guys playing hard. Every one of those players that hugged him the other day were saying, I love you, man. I love you, coach. They love their football coach. He loves them hard. Just like he said, he loves his kids hard. He loves them hard. So, yeah, man, I really think Texas got this thing right with Tom Herman, and it's just a steady uphill climb right now, man. I think these guys are on the way to doing well in the future. And it started off with, let's go win the Big 12 championship. Let's recruit the right players for our program, and then let's start worrying about the national picture. And that's exactly what Texas is doing. Exactly what Texas is doing. Is Texas going to go the next 20 years without losing a football game? Absolutely not. That's retarded. They'll probably lose 1 or 2 next year, not more. And we'll talk more about that later on down the road. But one thing I do know is, if you're going to play Texas at home, if you're going to play Texas in Austin, you better bring it, because this is a good football team. And it's finally fun to watch the Texas team knowing this team can win this football game. The last few years, it had been that way. It's like, oh, my God, who are we going to get here? Who are we going to get? We know what we're going to get with this Texas team now, and it all stems from Coach Herman. Hats off to Coach, man. I really think he's doing great. Like I said, I'm beating that up some, but I wanted to put that out there. Next week, next Friday, I believe it is, 11 o'clock, Texas rolls into Kansas, which is a little disappointing. It was always fun beating up on the Aggies on Thanksgiving, but, it is what it is. We'll get to go. It hadn't been the same since they went to the SEC, because it was fun. As much as I disliked that program, I don't care about the program. That's just I did, because the program doesn't matter. They've never been relevant. So much as I dislike their fans, some of their fans, most of their fans, it was always good to play them on Thanksgiving. And if they say anything, oh, well, we'd rather play LSU on Thanksgiving, they're full of it, because they haven't won a game yet against LSU. So they don't care nothing about playing. I mean, they like playing LSU because they can beat their chest on SEC crap. But, it's different than coming into Austin or us going into College Station. I don't care what they say. So, yeah, it's a little disappointing Texas doesn't have that big-time game on Thanksgiving. Maybe one day we'll get that back. But, it is what it is. Texas got to go into Kansas. If Texas take care of business at Kansas, they're in the Big 12 championship game against the winner and loser, or against the winner against West Virginia, or Oklahoma at West Virginia. I don't know who won that game. I'll come back later in the week with a preview of Kansas game, and I'll talk about the West Virginia Oklahoma game a little bit, who I kind of hope wins and who I would like to see Texas play again, who I think Texas has a better chance to beat. But Texas controls their own destiny once again. It's a good feeling. A good win last night against a solid Ohio State team. Man, hats off to this team. It was fun to watch. And it was also fun to watch Oklahoma State beat West Virginia like that. Kansas hung 40 on Oklahoma. So the Big 12 is rocky. But, it is what it is. All right, guys, I appreciate you tuning in. Have a good week. I hope to get a video in before Thanksgiving, but if I don't, have a happy Thanksgiving. You deer hunters out there, go get you a big deer. Enjoy the week with your family. Be blessed. Some of my battle buddies, some of my friends don't get to be home with their families this week, so keep all those guys in your prayers. I appreciate everybody listening, those Texas fans listening, and whoever we're playing opponents, West Virginia, Iowa, whoever we're playing, you fans that comment, even if it's bad comments and abusive comments or whatever you want to call it, that's fine. I enjoy it, man. It's all in good fun. I don't do it out of, if I talk back, I don't do it out of disrespect. I do it out of all, it's college football, man, and have fun. 100% of the people watching this video, regardless of who you root for, who you're against, we're all one under God, man. And let's finish this thing out right. Have a good holiday. Enjoy your day. Hook 'em.